All right, Rocket football fans, we're back for another week of the Coach's Show. Coach Thompson, 1-0 this week. We got a team that's going to be 1-0. We're going to see over in Dixon, and it's going to be an interesting football game. Let's talk a little bit about Webster County, what you expect to see over there this week.
Well, I expect a hard-fought game. They're a team that, over the years have struggled a little bit and been down as of late, but, their kids are older now. They've been playing for some time. It's been his JV team, his varsity team the past few years, and they're all old now. And they opened up the year with a big win over their rival, Hopkins County Central. So I really feel like we're going to go down there and it's going to be a battle. They're going to come out and they're going to try to punch us in the mouth, and we just got to make sure that we can withstand it.
Webster County is a team that we have indeed dominated ourselves over the years. 31 victories and 13 losses. The last time we lost to them was 2006. I went back and looked a little bit at that game, and we were behind in that game in 2006 at halftime, 14-0. And said Jacob Courtney gave a big speech at halftime, and the Rockets battled back and almost won the game, but fell. And we'd only had one. We were 1-4 at that time, and Webster was 3-2. So it said that almost pulled off the upset. Rockets almost pulled off. So Jacob Courtney, your middle school coach.
If Jacob Courtney in high school was giving a big speech, he must have been pretty
fired up,
ready to go.
He let most of his show on the field.
For sure. He wasn't a big speaker, but he played with his pads.
So we have beaten Webster County 10 out of the last 11 meetings, Coach Thompson. So that's quite a dominating performance by one team over the other. And Webster's a team we've traditionally played about as much, I think 46 times we've played them.
Yeah, and we just want to keep building on that. We don't want to go and let them get confidence early and think that they can play with us in that. We want to go 11 out of 12 for sure. So that's what we're working towards this week. I think the guys are excited about this because their newspaper over there picked this to be one of their wins this year. So we got a little bit of locker room motivation, for anyone to say they're going to beat us, any game. Gets the kids fired up. So they've given a little bit extra this week at practice, and we're going to try to take it to them.
All right, we're going to take a quick break and hear from some of our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Ever since I was a child, I've loved land. I loved every land. My mother's father was a farmer, so that my granddaddy and his father was a farmer, and I spent my childhood's summers in coming to Kentucky and working on the farm, and everything from the smell of dirt to feeling it run the dirt go between your fingers. There's nothing like it.
Here at H&H, we've got just about anything that it takes to get you back out on the field.
I love option play.
Was that a 42 speed option?
Are you looking for a banking option?
Sequence, double credit union.
Coming to Marion soon.
5 regular season home games, at least 2 home playoff games, at 8 touchdowns per, 56 touchdowns. That's a lot of booms.
I'm Darren Tabor, Homestead Auction Realty. Let us get you across the goal line with a new home.
You going to the game this week? You're going style, Rocket fans. Come by Max 2 Custom Kit Detail for a $15 wash.
Hey Kelly, it's almost Friday.
And we'll see you at Rocket Stadium.
All right, welcome back. We're going to talk about Webster County's personnel. Coach, they've got a really good quarterback, just a junior, but he's a pretty good one, isn't he?
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's a kid that's poised in the pocket. He'll sit there. He wants to throw the ball down the field. He wants to show that arm off, and he makes good decisions and makes good throws. He's got a couple receivers actually that can get open in a hurry and allow him to get the ball off pretty quick. So he's a guy that can hurt us if we let him sit there and get comfortable in the pocket. We just got to make sure that we don't give him that courtesy,
Mason Wilson is his name. He wears number 2.
Yes.
The receiver that really looks good on film that I saw is number 10. That's Grant Nance, and he had a big game against Hop Central.
Yeah, he's probably one of their most skilled players. He's a guy that can hurt us in numerous ways. They'll use him kind of like we use Caden McAllister. on our team. He'll play in what we call the H. You'll see him in jets, and you'll see him in screen action. You'll see him catch passes down the field. And then they have another receiver. This is their explosive guy. His name is Aiden Wynn. He's number 32. He's been a guy that's been there for a while. We've been seeing him. He's a really dangerous return guy as well. But he's a very explosive player, and they'll try to get him the ball as well. So the quarterback has weapons to use. He's just got to make sure that he can get it to them.
And I counted, it looks like they've got 8 seniors if the roster is accurate on KHSAA, and 3 of those seniors are the receivers.
Yeah,
So,
and they're all guys that have been playing. They're, except for maybe one of them, it might be a new kid. But
the Gwynn,
no, the Gwynn
is
kid
pretty good.
He's the linebacker, number 12. He's going to fly around and play football too. He reminds you a lot of our number 12. Of course, I like ours a little bit more, but they just got guys that are older now. People that said in the community to me when they come up and talk to me about football, Webster County seems to be much improved, and I don't necessarily think they're much improved. They've had these players. These kids have been skilled all along. They're just older, more mature, and most importantly, they're more confident than they've been in the past. So you get kids like that are old, and they're feel good about what they're doing, they can be dangerous. So we have to come out and make sure that we show them in how it's going to be and how we want the outcome to be early, and not let them get a chance to get going.
the Nance boy had 3 catches for 91 yards, I believe. That's some big gainers. I'm sure you've watched all the film. I didn't watch all of it, but
and one of those is one of those jet plays. So it just shows you how
shovel pass,
a little shovel pass in front of the quarterback on that motion action. But it just shows you how explosive he can be. He gets the ball in space and he's dangerous. So we just got to make sure we contain those guys. And we've shown in the past that guys like that, we can contain them. We just got to do it on Friday night.
And we know a great deal about this offense because we run it. What about their defense, Coach?
Defensively, they do exactly what we do. They're 3-3 stack, cover 3 base over the top of it. So they'll look a lot like us in all facets of the game. Defensively, they have really good linebackers, probably strength of their defense, and they play downhill. It's not going to look any different. It's like looking in the mirror, basically. So when people are watching it, honestly, we're sitting there breaking the film down. I look at Gage this week and I said, "What's that look like?" I said, "It's like you're breaking me down on the board." And so they're very similar. We're good friends with Zach. I actually helped him.
The coach?
Zach, the coach at Webster County. Helped him. I helped push him towards the system just to help.
And you're talking about the Tony Franklin system.
Yeah, offensively, what we do just to give them something to buy into and go on in wholeheartedly, just like we did when we changed. And the success that we got from it, just being in a system, they're starting to experience that now because they've been in it a few years. And then defensively, of course, Gage was over there. He's the defensive coordinator there, so. The things that they're doing, stem from what started him and Zach together before he came home. So, it's looking in the mirror. And I just think.
I bet they don't have pretty shiny helmets like we know. Now everybody keeps asking me, when are we going to wear these? The chrome.
That's a good question. We'll wear them eventually. We'll show them one day.
We're not going to let the cat out of the bag today.
I gotta have some secrets, don't I?
All right, we're going to take another break, and we'll be right back and finish up the show.
T-Bone, good luck this week.
Thank you.
Good luck this week, Titan.
Boys, we gotta know what the game plan is this week. We're banking on you.
Through the week, we are welding and fabricating. On Friday nights, we are grinding it out with the Rockets. Touchdown Rockets!
Full body fitness training Rockets and Rocket fans since 2006.
Cashback, please.
25 cents.
I need to cash this, please.
25 cents.
Cashback, please.
25 cents.
Hunter, why are you shortchanging the customers?
At this window, all you get's a quarterback.
All right, welcome back to the show. Webster County, the Rockets will be over at Dixon this week to take on the Trojans. Last year, the Trojans won 1 game and lost 10. They've already won 1 game this year. The only game they won last year, Coach, was against Fulton City, and Fulton City's not even in the playoff system this year. And I see they're playing Webster again.
Yeah, you know, looking at last year's team, they have all those kids back, you know. So I don't look at them as a 1-10 or 1-9 or whatever their past is. I look at it as a group of kids right now that's very confident in what they're doing.
Clearly, and I think they had a pretty good run through 7-on-7, and they look good when
they beat us in a 7-on-7.
Yeah, right.
So that, you know, they really feel like they can compete. So I feel like that a lot of this game's going to be determined on whose mindset is stronger going into it. It's who starts better and who finishes better. So we have to do both.
It started early. This week's trivia question. Okay, this is going to be a fun one, and it's kind of it's got a 2-part or a sidebar to it, if you will. So, in the history of Crittenden County football, the top 5 longest field goals. Now, Brad Madden is number 1 at 42 yards.
I think I need an asterisk.
You need an asterisk?
I tried to tie it.
Okay, tried to tie it and hit the crossbar, right?
I feel short.
Of course, Sean was a quarterback and a kicker. And it was a really good, strong-legged kicker. All right, back to the trivia question. So there are the top 5 kickers or longest field goals in the history of Crittenden County football. Number 5 on that list, I need you to tell me who that is. It was a 35-yard field goal, and there's a reason we're going to get to this 35 in just a minute. But it was a 35-yard field goal, and if you know the answer, go down to H&H Home and Hardware. You know, they have a new store down on the north end of town, and go in and tell those fine folks, here's the answer to the trivia question on Coach's Show, and they will make sure you get a free round of golf down at Deer Lakes Golf Course in Salem. And the significance of a 35-yard field goal is starting at our first home game, and we're going to do this every home game, there's going to be a contest. So if you want to be involved in this contest, and we're going to tell you in just a minute how to get involved, but it's going to be a 35-yard field goal. Yeah. So a lot of people think, well, I can kick that ball through those big, wide uprights. Yeah. We're going to get to see.
Yeah, now they get a chance.
Get a chance. Yeah. And it's going to be, so it'll be from the 25. And from the 25, you have the 10-yard end zone because the goalpost is in the back. So if you want to be involved in this, you can win $100 if you kick it through the uprights. And also, if you kick it and it goes through, the football team's going to get another $100, courtesy of Mark Williams with Whitetail Properties, our primary sponsor of this Coach's Show. And so Uncle Mark, that's Coach Thompson's uncle, and he's coming through for you again, man.
Yeah,
he's a good uncle.
Sure. Yeah, he's doing a good job promoting himself and helping me out at the same time. So I really appreciate it. I want to push people to get involved in this kick because, well, 1, it's going to be fun, but 2, it's just an opportunity for us to get more money and support ourselves. We use that money to feed the kids after games and before games, even on Friday. So.
All right. So be looking next week before in 2 weeks for our next home game. That'll be the Caldwell County game. Be watching on Facebook and some of the other social media platforms, and we will have a promotional for it. And if you will share that promotional, which it will include Mark Williams, Whitetail Properties, you'll see it. Share that, and that will put your name into a list, and maybe you'll get to go out on the field and kick a 35-yard field goal. And remember, you get $100, he gets $100 if you make it. All right. So we're excited to bring that to Rocket football this year. Coach Thompson, we want to kind of close the show out by talking a little bit about some of the ball games around the region from last week, and we'll start with the teams that are on our schedule. We always like to take a look at what they did. Trigg County 40, Muhlenberg County 0. You want to speak to that just a bit?
You know, Trigg, they return a lot. You know, they have a bunch of athletes out there, and they seem to have it going early. So something they struggled with is figuring out how to find the end zone with those athletes last year, and then also keeping people out of the end zone. And they showed
they found out how to do it against a 5A school in the opening week, and have a really good quarterback who's already committed to college. Warren East 48, Russellville 0. What do you get out of that?
Russellville plays a really tough non-district schedule, and they open up. That's a big school out of Bowling Green, you know. So they'll be battle tested come district time. So I'm sure Mikey or Coach Bitten's his mentality is, just get prepared and be ready to go by district time. So I think that's what his schedule's set up for.
Warne's a 4A school and got some votes for the top. They didn't break into the top 10, but had some votes for top 10. Todd Central 21, Callaway 20. Callaway's a team we've seen in scrimmage, and Todd's one we're going to see.
Yeah. From what I see on Todd, they're a very physical team with a very big physical running back, kind of like Union County's running back. That score really doesn't surprise me because after seeing Callaway, just the physicality that Todd could bring with that style of offense. But at the same time, I think Callaway, I probably would have picked Callaway to win that game, but that's why you play them.
I'm just going to jump through the rest of these. If you hear one you want to talk about, we'll do. Caldwell County 19, Christian County 14. You'd like to say a little something about that?
I think that you got to mention that because that team. That's a team that everybody, kind of like us, is saying, they're down now. They graduated 22 or 24, however many seniors they graduate, and then right before that game they lose their head coach. So that just shows how tough those kids are to go out and be able to go through all those emotions that they went through on Friday and pull out a win like that against a pretty tough Christian County team.
Yeah. Hart County beat Caverna 44-12, Marshall County 37, Ballard 6. Fulton County 42, Gleason, Tennessee 14, and Madisonville routed Union 41-0.
Yeah.
Of course, Madisonville's number 5 in 4A too.
Yeah, Madisonville's tough. Union County will be all right. They have some injuries. They'll be okay come time. By the time we see them, they'll be 100%, I'm sure.
I think Caldwell went over and scrimmage. Madisonville played fairly well against them.
Yeah, for sure. So they just let you know Caldwell might not be as down as many people.
And we're going to see Caldwell in a couple of weeks right here at home at Rocket Stadium. I'd say that tickets may be hard to come in. Could it be a sellout? Can we have a sellout?
That's we're asking you.
Coach Thompson wants a sellout. All right, we're going to close out the show with an injury report. Tell me what we've got. We're coming off our first football game. Looked like we came out in pretty good shape.
Yeah, for sure. So Caden's fine. He had, he sprained his finger. We went and got it checked out. He's good. He's practiced all week. Ian and Lathan are both still, just take day by day and see how they feel each day, but they're both good and clear to go, and they're great. We're just being smart with those guys and not overdoing them. And then the big one we get back this week is today. Noah's been released 100%.
The new transfer student.
Yeah, he's been practicing. He just can't do anything with contact, and he's been cleared to go full on.
Where will we see him play likely?
First off, you'll see him come in. He'll be a defensive end type, so it'd be nice to see him impressing opposite of each other with their length and their ability to get upfield. So,
of course, after the first week, you've had an opportunity to evaluate from game time, game speed. I'm going to ask you this question. What has surprised you so far? Is it somebody? Is there anything in particular that really you can say, hey, I'm pleasantly surprised by this?
Yeah, really it's our play up front. Our line play for the most part has been very respectable. And it's led by Ian. Ian going out there, not knowing going into this year how he was going to be with his issues with his knee and all that. And him to come out and be what he was plus some, So Ian is a pleasant surprise, and just his leadership. And then Dylan Yates is the other guy, and Riley Gobin stepping up on the line. And then you got 3 other guys, Ben Evans stepping up at center, and then Tucker Sharp and Jagger Hayes both rotating within our line and holding Cooksey. So all those guys getting in and playing on a regular basis, and us being able to protect the quarterback, get out in screens, and run the ball the way we've run the ball has been a surprise to me.
You'll not want to miss this week's player profile. I have the 2 tackles, Gobin and Yates, and I've followed them to work. I've followed them to scouts, and we're going to have a good show with those 2 guys, very mature young men.
Yeah.
And, I think that speaks so well, too, of your whole team. They're all intelligent, well, for the most part, intelligent, bright young men, well-spoken, and it warms my heart when I see two guys like that. One of them a senior, one of them just a sophomore.
Yeah, for sure. You know, they work hard at everything they do, and that's just being good young men. They work hard they work at that. It doesn't just happen. They try to be better every day, and that's all of them. And so being able to coach a group of kids like this it's a blessing for me, because I need that. Because like I've told you guys before, I'm kind of crazy. I'm a head case. So having good kids allows me to stay level-headed.
Yeah, that's good. All right, so the last question. Webster throws the football.
Yeah.
I know one part of our game you would like to see improve.
Yeah.
What has to happen this week? Where do we have to grow in order to get to where you think we need to beat Webster County, who has a good passing game?
You know, we just have to come out. And what you're trying to get me to say is we got to get a better defensive back coach.
No.
He's trying to say that we need to replace the defensive back coach. Our secondary, they're growing week by week. We're still young and inexperienced there. But, you know, we got work to do, and they come to work every day. So, you know, it's mainly communication issues. Just knowing where they're supposed to be or what we're in defensively is what's been the problem. So, you know, being better communicators, and that's all the way around, not just in the secondary this week. If we communicate what we see and do what we're supposed to do, that we should be okay.
Plenty athletic back there.
Oh, for sure. Plenty athletic. And, you know, 50% of coverage is getting a rush on that quarterback. So, you know, everybody's got to do their job on every play. And that's what we hope and plan to do.
A lot of talk around town this week has been, you know, the secondary, and everybody's the first thing here. Well, Crittenden County's always had a tough time in the secondary, but I'm going to tell you this, and that may be a true statement, but a lot of times in the past, the historic reason is we didn't have the athletes back there. This year, you got the athlete,
for sure.
Just got to get them some experience.
Yeah, and it's going to come week by week, play by play. So,
right.
And it's coming. We just got to grow up fast. They got to understand that the press got to understand I'm not a freshman anymore.
Preston Morgan.
Yeah, Preston Morgan. I'm not a freshman. Noah's got. I've been playing free safety for 3 years now. You know, Noah Perkins. And then Logan Bailey, you know, all those guys, it's the same thing. You know, just because they haven't been on the building varsity doesn't mean they haven't been doing it. So it's just making sure that.
But it's different, isn't it?
It's different. The lights are on and it's shining. Everybody's yelling just a little. I know that the intensity's up, but you got to use those butterflies for good and not let them slow you down.
There's no coaches show for JV games.
I mean, there could be.
We could. Well, our secondary will get some more baptism under fire this week, and I know we will be excited to go over to Dixon and play Webster County. 7 o'clock kickoff, and we'll see you, Rocket Nation, over at Webster County Friday night.
Welcome to Hometown Chiropractic. I'll be right with you.
Hey, Rocky football fans.
Let Rommel Ellington tackle your dirty ride.
Hello, I'm Rick Hughes at Deer Lakes Golf Course in Salem, Kentucky, home of Rocket Golfers.
Since 1973, Hodges has been equipping Rockets and Rocket fans with gear and apparel. Come see us. We'll see you Friday night at the football game.
From our team to yours, we're behind you all the way, Rockets. Par 4 Plastics, where people make the difference.
Everything in this country was built from the ground up, and it starts with land. When I can go out and take somebody onto a property and see that gleam in their eye when they find a farm that they fall in love with because they're as passionate about land as I am, that's when the magic happens. That's what makes what we do so great. There's no dollar amount. There's nothing else that can compare to the look you get when somebody signs on that dotted line and their dreams have come true about owning land.